What is up, you guys? Back here, and I want to give my reaction to the co-main event. Robert Whittaker taking on Marvin Vettori in the co-main event, and it was a great three-rounder. You know, both guys could have went. It could have went if whoever won possibly put themselves more in the title fight. Obviously, Izzy's fighting Alex Pereira. In MSG in November, so I'm gonna have to wait until after that. But before I get started, make sure to please hit the subscribe, ring that bell. Would appreciate it. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So Robert Whittaker, to me, I love his style of fighting. Like, he bounces when he has to. In and out, a good wrestler. I thought Marvin Vittori, for me, was probably going to try to wrestle Whittaker a little bit more. Or fake the wrestling and then come up with the hands a little. But instead, he chose to stay on the feet with Robert Whittaker. Whittaker, to me, takes his time to really study the opponent while he's there live. Because that first round is pretty much how it went. Both guys exchanged really good shots between each other. But I think Whittaker, to me, landed the better shots throughout the fight. Round one wasn't that bad, but I think it still went to Robert Whittaker. Round two starts, and pretty much the same thing. I think, Whittaker style of fighting is just, and I think Marvin Vittori as well had a very hard time adjusting to the range that Whittaker had on him. He couldn't really figure it out to get his punches off. And that's something that, it was very hard. And to me, maybe he could have been a little more active as well. I think him being a little more active would have changed the dynamic of the fight, maybe, possibly. Whittaker, because once Whittaker gets going, he starts throwing that beautiful ducking roundhouse kick that he throws. It just looks so cool the way he does it. The hit the dexterity that Whittaker has to throw something like that, and the way that he throws it, it's fire. Big exchanges. Whittaker landed beautiful rights, beautiful head kicks. Kind of hurt Vittori in the second round and the third round. Pretty good. Obviously, he didn't get the finish, but I think for Robert Whittaker, this was a good performance for him. And he needed the win. So did Marvin Vittori. For Vittori, I feel like he should have mixed in the wrestling with his hands, especially after a round and a half. I think I probably would have tried to change things up and see how it goes from there, if I can get him down. I mean, he did try, throughout the fight, up against the fence, but Whittaker had a really good takedown defense and wasn't really allowing Vittori to really secure a takedown in that aspect when it comes to being around the fence. I believe in round number 3, Robert Whittaker landed a takedown of his own and started doing some damage from there. But again, it was just a good, solid performance for Robert Whittaker. And for Marvin Vittori, when he goes back and look at this fight, he's going to be like, damn, I should have probably been a little more active. Because, he did get Whittaker a couple of times, but Whittaker had the bigger shots, especially when he hurt him a couple of times already throughout the fight. Yeah, so it's, Whittaker got the victory. And, back to the drawing board for Marvin Vittori. I think this is his second loss in a row, I think. If I'm not mistaken, after he fought Izzy for Carlo Posto. No, he won that fight. I'm lying. He won that fight. But I think for Marvin Vittori, back to the drawing board, get another win. He's not too far off, so putting his name back into a title contention. For Robert Whittaker, he has already won a couple of fights in a row, and the way he looked against Marvin Vittori, he looked good. He looked sharp. For him to fight Izzy again, and when he does fight Izzy again, he definitely needs to, I don't know, maybe get some guys that are very tall and lanky like Izzy, to work on that range and distance. Because that's what makes it hard to fight Izzy. That he's super hard and he knows his range and distance very well, and doesn't really let people really close that gap in too much. And so yeah, man, that's what I think of the fight. The fight was awesome. Guys, if you guys like the video, make sure to throw those thumbs up. Really would appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.